Hello, it's Joe here from Fun Kids backstage at British Summertime in Hyde Park. Now, I have been joined by a very well-dressed fellow. Neil, you're from Horrible Histories.
I am.
Can you explain your attire today, please?
Well, I am dressed as William Burke. My partner was William Hare, and together we're known as William and William. No, we're known as Burke and Hare, the famous body snatchers from Edinburgh, except we didn't snatch anybody's because that was too much like hard work. In fact, all we did was murder people. We set up a guest house, we invited people like you to come and stay at our guest house, and we just murder you. And we murdered people over a year, murdered about 16 people, and eventually I was caught, and I was hanged. And someone dipped a pen in my blood and wrote, "This is written with the blood of William Burke." And then they took my skin off my body and made it into book covers and boxes and things, which you can still buy today. You can still buy bits of me. And my death mask is at Edinburgh University. So I am William Burke, still alive, still feeling well, just a bit of skin missing from my body.
The true representation of Horrible Histories, then.
Indeed, I am the living embodiment of Horrible Histories.
So, who is your favourite character from history? Your favourite person that you would like to impersonate?
Well, that's a difficult question because, I mean, when people say they're bored of history, they mean they're bored of people. Because history is just the stories of the most interesting, famous, fantastic people throughout history. So there's an awful lot. I mean, we're doing Balmy Britain. We're doing Balmy Britain in the West End all through August. And we've got a host of very, very interesting characters. We've got Dick Turpin. It's funny that we should be in Hyde Park now because there were actually highwaymen in Hyde Park when William III came to the throne. And in fact, he built a road through Hyde Park, the first oil-lit road in the world, to protect himself, the king, from the highwaymen that were in Hyde Park. So he's in the show. We've got Queen Elizabeth, evil Elizabeth I, Boudica, the famous woman who completely destroyed London. That's why we like her, because she flattened London before he got a chance. We've got quite a lot of Romans. We've got the plague, the Black Death. You haven't got the Black Death, have you? You haven't got any plague?
I hope not.
No, go. You're looking a bit on your neck. Got a bit of a...
I noticed that.
Could be someone who kissed him. I don't know what it is. And we've got Queen Victoria. So we've got a lot of amazing characters in the show.
So if there was a standout moment from history for you that you would love to tell the story about here at Hyde Park today, what would it be?
Well, I think it's Boudica, because Boudica, some people call her Boadicea, she actually had a battle with the Romans, and it was the biggest battle in British history. Right back 2,000 years ago. It was only 5 miles from where I live, in Warwickshire. I found that out recently. She had 80,000 soldiers who attacked about 10,000 Romans, and, well, she got 80,000 men, and the Romans only had 10,000, so obviously the Romans won. Because the Brits have never been that good, as we know, at fighting battles. So she was beaten by the Romans, and she had to poison herself. And that was one of our great defeats. But she was a good character. You can see her statue on Westminster Bridge if you go and have a look. There she is with all her horses and flaming hair. Quite a large lady, but very, very happy.
So you're performing here today at British Summertime in Hyde Park.
Yes,
We've got some amazing acts here all day. You've got the likes of Little Mix, we've got Tom Jones later on, but then of course we've got the Horrible Histories, which I can't wait for. But what will I experience if I come and see you later on today?
Well, you will start off with Bran, the giant Welsh leader, who said that if you cut off my head and bury it in London, it will protect London so long as it lays undisturbed. But of course, we're in London, someone nicked it, and that's presumably why the Romans invaded. Then we go and see Richard I, the Lionheart, who did a lot of roaring, because he was called Lionheart. We go to the Black Death. We see William Wallace, who also came to London. It wasn't quite as happy for him because he was hung, drawn and quartered, which means he was hung till he was nearly dead. Then all his insides were taken out and burned while he was watching, or fed to some dogs. And I don't know if he liked dogs or not. But William Wallace, he didn't have a nice time in London. It was his last and only trip to London. And that's what we're doing here. But to say, the whole show is on at the Garrick all through August for What's Kids Week. In fact, I can give you a special tip. If you want to get 2-for-1 tickets, you buy your tickets through Kids Week and you get 2 tickets for the price of 1.
Absolutely phenomenal. That's the way to do it. So I've just frozen where my question was going to go. Sorry. The 2-for-1 exactly has just struck me. Exactly. Wow.
8 for 4. I could buy 16 for 8. I could buy 20 for 10. Yes.
All of the maths. So if you wanted to recommend... I'll start that again. So if at home someone just wanted to get into history, wanted to get into the same sort of acting as you with acting about history from the past, how would you recommend they get involved?
Well, the first thing to do is buy the books, because the Terry Deary, the genius behind Horrible Histories, is writing these books for 20 years. They are absolutely fantastic, and that is the best way into history. If you want to act in the show, well, in fact, in The Black Death, we do bring up a child from the stage to be cured by the various cures, which were very, very important and serious. I don't want you, thinking that they didn't know what they were doing. For example, to cure you of the Black Death, I can see you've got on your neck now, you take a live chicken, you shave its bottom, you strap it to the saw, and that's how you could be cured.
Wow. So we just need chickens.
You just need live chickens and a shaver, so you can shave its bottom, and that would cure you. I don't know why people are looking at me as though that's not true, but it would definitely cure you.
How on earth did
Or loud noise. That can cure you because it purifies the air. That's another way. Or,
Loud
or I could
noises.
whip you.
Okay.
Because some people say that the plague is a punishment from God, and whipping yourself is a way of repenting. That's another way of being cured. There's lots of different cures.
History sounds very bizarre to me.
No, I think you should read more of it, and you'll see just how sensible we all were, even back in our time.
How did they ever discover that by shaving a chicken, then that is going to help you solve the plague?
Well, I think the thing is, probably by the time the doctor had applied the chicken, you were probably dead anyway. So, it didn't work and it didn't matter because he'd moved on to the next victim.
It sounds pretty gruesome, but something a lot less gruesome, something quite glamorous actually. You've been touring the world with Horrible Histories. Tell me about where you performed recently.
We have just come back from Sydney Opera House, which for those of you who know where Sydney is, it is in Australia, and it's an iconic building, massive, fantastic building. We were in the biggest stage on there, the concert hall, 2,000-seater, and we had a very, very good time. But I must say, we always love coming back to the Garrick. In fact, I think the Garrick is going to feel like a little playhouse now, because it's such a small theatre compared to the big theatre we've been doing. But we're also going to Hong Kong, Singapore, back to Australia, Dubai, Oman. So you can catch us in any of those places if you happen to be walking past the theatre and think, I'd like to see Horrible Histories.
Incredible. Thanks very much for joining me, Neil.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.